Hello, this is Cool Justin, asshole, host of unsavory names that I've been called before, and I've got another story for you guys. I would like to say real quick that I am very pleased with how many views my last video got. I'm used to, and I'm pulling it up over here as well. Sorry about the delay. Normally I'm much better at forward thinking on this. 14 views in 6 days for me is a lot. I've had one video that's gone big, and that was back when Watch Dogs 2 had first come out, and I'd recorded a video of me taking a car and jumping it off the roof of the place instead of going to the zip line, because he said you have to get out of there, and it kept focusing on this car. That said, I want to tell the story of the Nagah game. Now, personally, I don't think Nagah are meant to be played as a full PC game. And by a full PC game, I mean all player characters, all Nagah, all day. I think they're supposed to be more flavor characters at best, and treated with kind of like that same type of gloves you would treat a Nuwisha with, or a Garal, which are the Were-Coyotes and the Were-Bears respectively. However, we didn't have many people to play, so we had 4 players, including myself, and I was playing a GMPC, and just to kind of, I won't even call it flavor, but to give him non-GM Super Saiyan powers. Oh, I know the answer to this. I know the answer to that. I know all the answers. I made him, it was pack mentality, and I played it to the T. So, literally, if he was not with his pack, he would bumble, he would fall, he would fail, not good by himself. That said, it turned out to be a relatively good game, but for the few failings, ego, popping that real quick, for the failings that I do have about being a storyteller, this is one of the biggest ones. I punish stupidity. And I don't mean like you make a mistake type of stupidity. I mean, I'm gonna get to that part of the story, but you'll understand. But that said, that's my one big thing. I will punish it, and I will punish it hard. I do not care. If you want to be that person who comes to my game and you're just looking to be an idiot, a murder hobo, I do not like. I don't play much D&D because I'm not big into the swords and sorcery stuff, and that's a personal thing. If you basically want to be a murder hobo where you solve almost every single fucking problem with violence, or if it's not violence, it's fire, one or the other, doesn't matter. I'm not going to be enjoying you in my game, and that is a big deal for me. So the people who do end up coming into my game, sitting down, and basically being an idiot for no real reason, I do not abide by that. Now, something to say about the Nagah. The Nagah are passionate beta, or Betty, whatever. And because they're passionate, they tend to be a little, and I'm going to say little, hedonistic. They indulge themselves. Certain classes a little bit more than others. But they tend to indulge themselves. And why shouldn't they? They are were snakes. Were cobras, were diamondbacks. I think you could be a were anaconda, but you lose all your poison abilities that come along as being a were snake. So we decided to all play the same type of snake. We had a late player into it, but he didn't stay long because the game kind of ended. Come couple of people's real life stuff got in the way, and we just said, okay, well, nothing's happening with this, and we kind of just called it. So, as we continue on with this story, I am going to preface it. I get dark. I mean really, really dark with this one. And the reason why is because I was enjoying the game. So, basically the story is this. A couple of the other Nagah, and this was before the game begins, went to this bar called the Mystic Bar. Now, I mentioned in my previous story for Werewolf the Apocalypse, The Burning of Austin, I have a pet GMP. I have a pet NPC. And depending on what game you play in, what universe, he behaves one of three ways. Either he's a complete and motherfucking asshole, as in evil asshole, as in not just evil, but like chaotic evil. Well, he's more lawful. Nonetheless, he's an asshole. One way or another, he is always an asshole. Either he's a self-righteous asshole with a humanity of 8. He's your average asshole-less vampire because he's a 6th-gen gangrel. Or he is the epitome of, I'm a 6th-gen gangrel, do something. And one of the things about the Mystic Bar was it was also his haven. It was a true neutral ground. Even when he's a dick, it's a true neutral ground. If you come in because of magics, blood magics, spirits, and wraiths, the place was protected from all types of supernatural abilities. You might be able to activate aspects, but if you're popping claws, you're going to be set aside pretty quickly. That's if the wraiths get to you first. So it was a true neutral ground. Hard to activate disciplines, hard to even shapeshift. So the... Oh shit, they have a name for him. It's not Pack, it is... I can't seem to find my book. I will look for it later. Because I'm recording this. Sorry for the coughing. Still a little sick. So their nest. I'm gonna call it nesting. Their nesting goes to the previous nesting. Went to this bar. They were investigating whether or not Rune was fucking selling blood-laced drugs and just fucking up everybody. You died? Don't care. You're immortal. Who cares? That werewolf over there, he's not going to start shit. I will fuck him up. And he knows it. I told you, he was in this universe, this is the asshole Rune that has like a humanity of nothing. I'm not even sure if he's on a recognizable path. So, they go into this place. They find out in their mission dossier, this is what happened to the previous nesting. Someone ripped out their fangs from when they're in their Krynos form, and I forget what it's called off the top of my head, and I can't find my book. Ripped out their fangs and mailed them back to their secret entrance to their umbral lair. Now, the Nagah, whenever they go into a river, can actually go into a sacred space for them. No one knows about this place except unless you are welcomed in on it, and it has a few other special rules. You can tell other Nagah where your umbral land is, but you have to know where it's at. You can't just, oh, I'm gonna hop in this river. Oh, look, I found someone's home. Woohoo! So someone, and they believe it's Rune, mailed the fangs of 4 Nagah back to their lair. And we're not talking about their individual layers. We are talking about the main layer. The main layer because I forgot where they placed it, in LA. That's where he sent it to. Or at least they believe they did. Blah, 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 all that other stuff. So, that was going to be their first mission. But their first mission was... I wanted to go a little light. Make it a little fun. Because they're supposed to be guys assassins. Her fangs, literally. So if a werewolf is intentionally inciting the delirium just to be a douche, their job is to kill that werewolf, that Garu, just because. He is not fulfilling his purpose in his existence. If other Garu aren't picking up on the fact that one is eating man meat again, they have carte blanche to just right in the throat. Part of their job. And their poison is so potent it works on Garu. It works on Anastasi or whatever they're called. Works on all level of supernaturals. And so that was their little thing. They find him. He goes Krynos right there in the middle of the club they find him at. Scares off all the humans. And now the goal was originally to infiltrate. And they send my character in to infiltrate. And because, like I said, pack mentality, he got lost in the air ducts. we thought it was a cute little moment. I'm sitting there actually rolling for it because I don't want to just go, well, GMPC, look at this. Woohoo! He's perfect. Nope. So everyone gets in there. We kill this Garu. And they send both of the Snakeborns to destroy the videotapes. And we were playing in modern days. And I think this was 2010? Or 2013 maybe. I don't remember. But still, most of data was saved to hard drives. And these two Snakeborn go into the security room. They see all these monitors, and guess what they do? They break the monitors. If the game would have continued on, it would have been a thing where that had come back to resurface. I actually had something set up for that. But they decide that they're going to... They get their mission. They get their first real mission besides the simple one. And they're going to go and check out the Mystic Bar and see what's going on. Now, I gave them all the clues for this, and even the winter, because that's how they do their auspices, or whatever. Oh, my eyes, I can't see in the camera. You have summer, winter, fall, and spring, each one representing basic personalities. I think summers are bright and passionate. Winters are cool and methodical, like even more so for Nagah. They are even more cooler. They are even more thought out. Falls, I think, were the Thurgis, and springs were basically Ragabash. So some of the things were combined together, but in general, they were all supposed to be Philodox. You are literally being judge and jury and executioner for some of these other were creatures. On a side note, that book is amazingly written, especially the part where they're talking about the history. It's done in a narrative rather than just rules. What happens is, and I'll get back to my story here in a moment, I really like that edition because it tells it in a story where they caught Old Man Miniskins, which is a Nuisha, sneaking in on them. Old Man Miniskins is the literal avatar for Coyote on Earth. It's his job to do stuff like that. He's not malicious about it. It's just his job. So, if you get a chance, read the book for nothing else for the story. Even if you don't want to get into the crunch, that story is beautiful. But getting away from that, getting to that story. So, first thing that happens, they walk up to the club. They haven't even gone to the back of the line. And the bouncer waves them in. Flag number 1. Flag number 2. They get in, and there's a little antechamber where because they do what most people would do, they walk straight across the little antechamber, try to open up the door. The door doesn't open. The door opens once the outside doors close. 2. They get in, and immediately there's a booth clear for them. Or a table. It wasn't a booth. There's only one booth in the Mystic Bar, and that's Runes. And it's a little high up, and nonetheless, I'm a little shameful for having him as he was just supposed to be the wheel greaser here to get the story going more than anything else. It was just pushing the story. So they get in there. They go to a table. They start checking out the place, and they're like, yeah, good music, nice ambiance, big crowd, wonderful crowd. So, you know, things that might actually be amazing. It's a bumping club. There's 4 of them in the United States. L.A., I say Austin, but San Antonio, Dallas, depending on what game. There's one in Miami and one in New York, you know, across the country. And so immediately when they get in and they sit down at the table, a waitress comes up out of nowhere and says, hey, all of your drinks are comped on the house tonight. What y'all having? 3. That's 3 big red flags right off the bat. They order drinks, and because I was trying to play that character, I rolled intelligence and something else, and it's like, guys, I don't think this is a good idea. I'll just have water. And the rest of the guys order drinks, and once the waitress leaves, I'm like, doesn't that seem weird to you? And everyone rolled. They all filled their rolls, but I passed. And sounds crazy saying it out loud now, but still, that's what happened. So, next thing that happens, the drinks come, and being a snake-born, he brings a glass up. It smells weird. And again, pass, 3 fails. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna suck. Now that notebook I told you about, that notebook has exactly what was going on. Down to that all the drinks were laced with the blood drugs. Specifically, MDMA, Molly, whatever it's called these days, ecstasy. Specifically spiked to increase the effects and make people lose their inhibitions. Now, the Nagah are already a little without their inhibitions. When they're on a job, focused. Give them a chance to party, they're going to party. It's what they are. So we sit down, and they're like, yeah, it'll be fun. Come on, we're Nagah. What do you think is going to happen? You think these mortal drugs work on us, really? All 3 of them. And this is where I had them roll a Gnosis roll. Because it was an effect against their Gnosis. It was wearing out their spiritual energy. And a person botched. One person failed and they lost 2 points of temporary Gnosis. But it was basically the Gnosis ate up the effects of the poison. That's what was going on. And it was basically a poison check. And so they drink these drinks. A person botches, and that's going to be my idiot cousin. My blood cousin, not my... I'm going to call him B. My cousin-in-law who is playing is J, and my best friend who is also one of my groomsmen, his name is A. That way I don't just keep calling them by their descriptors. I'm calling them by a name. So B, I'm like, okay, this is what's going on in your body. Everything needs to be humped. And that was the effect of the drug. And I had it written down, and I showed Jay it, just so Jay would see, yes, that's what he has written down, because I went like this, and I had the page covered up. This is the effect of the drug. He's like, all right. And it's because I don't want people to think that I'm sitting there just trying to fuck with someone. I had this planned out, because I know my players. So he starts humping everything. And I mean everything. Not everyone. And he's like, I'm going to go out to the dance floor now and party it up. While you're grinding on them girls pretty hard. And a couple guys. They just happen to be there. It wasn't made for the gay joke. It was made just because he's a Nagah. That doesn't matter. Let's party. So, after this, he did a secondary gnosis role and he became tainted. Now, anyone aware of World of Darkness, especially Werewolf, will know that taint is a bad thing. And depending on who runs the game, it's a background trait. And it basically reflects how big of a grasp the worm has on you, how much its influence you can spread. So the goal was this. They like, okay, well, this Nagah is now tainted. We have to solve the problem. And because my Nagah was the ritualistic one, I fudged some things. And it's because I wanted the game to keep going. And what had happened is he basically learned over the course of 2 days the ritual for cleansing. Now, this is both one of my happiest moments and one of my most angry moments. I'm describing the ritual going on, the chanting, the taints. Your pores light up in flames. You're held down by your friends, but it's not enough. The energy of the worm coursing through your body is fighting the purity of whatever the fall's name was. As he continues to burn the taint out of you, B interrupts me. And I was much more descriptive at the time, and I had everyone's face on me. I was so happy with myself because normally I pause a lot because I'm waiting for people to answer and respond, and I want to give people a chance to do something stupid like throw a fireball at someone, or while someone's monologuing, I'll leave a couple gaps here and there. That way, if they want to try and get a surprise attack in on them, they can surprise attack during the monologue. It's a hilarious trope. That's going to be a different story. So, I'm talking about the taint being burned off, and B goes, well, better my taint burned... better the taint burnt off than my taint burnt off. No one laughs. Alright, B. Let me describe to you how painful this is. And I proceed to describe essentially someone torturing your heart and the cardiac sac. It has a specific name. I don't remember what it is. And I went very descriptive, and for about 10 minutes, every little thing that I could personally think of to cause pain to a single square centimeter of flesh, I went over. I was not happy because I had everyone's undivided full attention, and it was glorious. And he had to make a stupid little joke, and it wasn't even like there was no tension in the room. Everyone was just like, yes, this, and mind you, I may be a little blow my own horn here. I thought this was a very wonderful moment where people were like interested in the game and what was going on, and in their other games they probably didn't have that so much, where they actually went through the description of a ritual where everything is going on. And I finished the description. Jay looks at me. Everyone's white-faced because they've never heard me talk like this. They've heard me go, ah ha ha, well, this stupid thing's happened, and it's glory and it's horrible. You rip off his arm, there's flesh of chunks hanging off, and you can still see veins trying to pump blood through it. The arteries are looking like they're trying to grasp in and new oxygen-filled blood, and but no, they never heard me go into like pain. Jay looks at me. I think we should take 5 minutes. And Justin, never do that again. And he was talking about the description of basically torturing someone's heart with a razor blade, salt, vinegar. Yeah, let me say it was just kind of gruesome, and I was very... It's what happens when I get angry. And I don't want to be destructive. I want to be verbal. So that happens. The ritual is successful. Taint is cured. He is not feeling enthralled by the worm no more, and in fact, he is in pain. And I basically gave him 2 weeks downtime because that's how long it's going to take for B's character to recover. So they're like, okay, well, you might still want to look into this, see what's going on. Maybe you can like hit up the dealers on the street. Maybe there's something going on with that the council of their snake peers wants them to still look into this. Don't deal with Rune. Deal with the low-level people. Maybe it's not just maybe drugs aren't just coming out of this club. Maybe there's low-level people. Or it was something to do with maybe a possible cult. So they start looking into this, and it's like, well, according to this crime chart, this heat map, there's not any crime within 2 blocks of this location, and it's kind of misshapen, but we can definitely draw a correlation to his club. And they start hitting up a couple of the drug dealers, and they find out that yes, the drugs are coming from the bar, but no one can prove it because they've never actually interacted with the owner. And they start asking about this cult that might be springing up, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, they wear their hoodies, and some of them wear stupid contacts with slits in them that looks like cat's eyes. It's stupid. So one night, because where we're doing an investigation like montage, they find, and this is where we actually pick back up the game again, really, they find a pack of, I'm using the word pack, it's just a group of like older teenagers, like still school age, but not necessarily in college yet. School age kids. And it's in the middle of the night, and they're all wearing these hoodies, and the hoodies have wide openings right here. If you're there at the game, you're going to call me on this because it was so cheesy and lame. So they follow them. Now, while they're following them, they see them make a transition with another character, another NPC that pops up. They kind of do this number here. They see something exchange, and they just keep going. Because of that, B decides on his own he's going to track this guy. And you know what? Wonderful idea. I am not a big split the party guy, and I can run multiple things happening at the same time. That wasn't the problem. So he tracks him. And he's like, okay, I'm going to follow this guy into this building. And I'm like, well, the building is dark. There's no lights on, and the only light you can see is into the lobby where there's 2 elevators. Yeah, I'm going to follow him. Okay, are you sure? He's like, yeah. It's all right, Jess, I know what I'm doing. All right. And this is where the stupidity begins. Now, the other group, and we're going to put B on pause for a moment, because I'm going to get back to B. We go over to J and A's group. Now, with J and A, basically what they find is a whole bunch of kids who were immune to the delirium. Now, the delirium is what causes mortals to forget about werewolves and weresnakes and so forth. They, for some reason, was immune to it. So they started a cult after the snakes. And yes, their hoodies were supposed to resemble cobras. They were wearing slitted contacts to look like snakes. Some of them were doing self-procedures for dermal plating and scaling. And yes, I'm borrowing from Batman Beyond on that because I thought it was a really nifty idea. And given the World of Darkness, let's be honest, that's right there in the ballpark. So they're like, okay, well, stop committing all these crimes. If you're going to be a cult devoted to us, don't be a cult devoted. Be a cult in our image, not in what you think is our image. This is what we want you to do. Basically, they were taking these kids who were immune, and they were turning them into kinfolk. Not a true cult. They were going to raise and educate these kids. And that was the purpose, and that was going to be part of the story arcs throughout the game. However, that's where we stopped with them. We never played beyond this game. Like I said, life things got caught in the way. Jay ended up moving, and I think, was having issues making it to the games. So he was an hour late a couple times, and it was just kind of killing the getting started and all that. So we get back over to B. Now, B, following this guy, botches. And this was old World of Darkness before Onyx Path came out, before the 20th editions, the 20th anniversary editions. So all you needed was enough ones to counteract all of your successes, and then one more. He went 3 over. Not only did he bumble his way in there, he thought he was the stealthiest bastard around. Secret agent man, secret. He thought he was that. Then he botches sliding into the elevator. And again, it's, are you sure you want to do that? Yeah, I'm good, Justin. Yeah, don't worry about it. I've got a plan here. All right. Make that rolls. Botches again. Oh, only a 2 botch this time. All right. You think you got behind him good. Well, I'm going to push myself up against a wall. See, when people get on an elevator, they like to stand in the dead center. I'm like, have you ever actually been in an elevator with people? People don't do that. They press their backs against the wall. Every single time. So even though you don't think he knows, when you try to get behind him, he's still there. He notices you're there. He's like, all right, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to burn a couple rage. I'm going to burn a rage point. I'm going to shift in my Krynos form. I'm like, okay. And what he didn't know is that this was a ghoul. Again, all down in my notes. He changes form behind the guy, thinking he's going to get the drop on him and just wrap him up and constrict him. Nope. This ghoul has celerity. Pulls around with a 50 cal fucking Desert Eagle, puts it in between his eyes, pops him. Not a silver bullet, but it does 1 point more damage to drop him down. So whenever you take more damage than your stamina roll, than your stamina pool, it knocks you out. And because I was trying to be generous, he was tied up, and this doctor, and they're always doctors, starts torturing him, trying to figure out how he ticks. Does this work? Silver. That's interesting. Let me wrap this around your arm. It leaves an imprint. He tries to shift forms, and what he finds is that his arms are bound in some type of gut. Rotworm gut, rotting guts, or whatever it's called. Great worm fetish, by the way. And so, basically, that's where the last session left off. I know this video is running over 30 minutes, but I don't like stupidity. And it's not so much as in a mistaken choice. It's, you know what you're doing is stupid, and it's not like that fun, let's try to have some fun type of thing. It's, I'm going to destroy everyone else's game because I want to do something crazy. That's stupid, like, I forget if I mentioned in the Burning of Austin, when a building is burning down around you, you want to stop and start investigating again. The building's burning down around you. Yeah, I want to look around some more. Alrighty then. As you continue to look around, the building collapses on you, and you die in a burning heap. Well, no. See, you kept cutting me off. No, I didn't. The other players did. No, they didn't. You weren't saying anything, and this is what you were doing. That's B. That's B in a fucking nutshell. Well, I think I said it, therefore I did say it, and therefore you weren't listening, and people were talking over me, and I had the most important voice. Everyone made the same investigation rolls throughout that game. Same thing in the Nagah game. Everyone made their roles together typically. If they were investigating something, everyone got a chance to investigate. And it's a really interesting. I thought the Nagah game story would be kind of fun to tell. I've been called a GM dick for that one, for the poisoning the drink. But not even just because it's a world of darkness, but I gave them all the signs that yes, this was a bad person. Like, they sat down with Rune, and Rune was a bad person. He smelt of not only the worm, but possibly the abyss where the worm comes from, where the worm's bound, whatever. I gave them every single clue not to take the drinks. When the GMPC says, you know what, this is probably a bad idea, you might want to listen. So with that, and this being a 35-minute long video, a little bit longer because of the closing and the outro and all that stuff, I want to wish you all guys happy journeying. If you want to like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. I'm trying that. Fuck you if you subscribe. Fuck you if you comment. Fuck you if you like my video. Hey, I know it's not clever, but I'm trying. You guys have a great day, and I think my next video will be Cool Imp's rules for the table. And these are going to be my rules, not anyone else's, but that's my next planned video. So y'all have a great day.